lately? Does it feel like we're on the road to WrestleMania now?
So recently, Triple H went on an interview, pretty much a WrestleMania, like a pre-WrestleMania interview with Joe Tessitore, and it was just a bunch of corporate word salad or whatever. And he said something along the lines of, after Roman and Punk and people along those lines leave the company, he has no one who can replace them as far as star power. Now, not only is that disrespectful to the people that you pretty much 50-50 book into irrelevancy every week, but that's kind of that, like, it goes against what he said about him not wanting to book anyone to be bigger than the company. Like, he purposely books people to feel average, to feel like they're not special, to feel like they're less than larger than life, like we had back in the day. So to say that, it kind of just it's honestly very is not it lacks self-awareness. Triple H has said plenty of times himself that he doesn't want to book anyone to be bigger than the company. He saw that LA Knight got over on his own, carrying Cross, and they got punished for doing that. But yet, you say that you don't have, I just find it weird. I just, so you mean to tell me that, you know, uh, people like Seth Rollins, people like Gunther. I mean, he ruined Gunther by having him tap out in 2 seconds to his own move. But, you know, um, I'm gonna go here. Also, dude pulled up in dude pulled up in the black Nike Blazers, trying to be he's trying to he's trying to dress like this generation. It's not working. He's trying to fit in. Uh, these are not the Blazers you get. If like these are not the Blazers that you would get if you want to fit in. Usually, it's like a white or a lighter color, and it's got like a black or red swoosh, but not those. Um, but I'm gonna go here, probably to the WWE website, and then go here. So this right here is superstars who apparently will not be able to fulfill the gap when Roman and Punk leave. So we got AJ Lee, who has a Roman Reigns schedule, who's had like 3-4 matches and only one or two singles matches. AJ Styles, he didn't book him well on his retirement tour. We didn't even know he was on a retirement tour. Akira Tozawa, who was incredible on 205 Live, who was incredible in the CWC, great in Dragon Gate, and then he just has him doing stupid little dances. It's it's crazy. Alba Fire, or as I like to call her, Kaylee Ray, who was NXT Women's Champion, NXT UK Women's Champion for 649 days. Now she's booked as nothing but a lackey, lapdog, servant, pet for Chelsea Green, who's also being underutilized. But Chelsea kind of settled, and she says that she's happy in her role and that she's fine with being the woman who's always there for the other women. Aleister Black, he's had absolutely nothing significant since he's gotten back. I would think he returned after WrestleMania 41 season. He's had nothing. They had something with him and Damian Priest, but I feel like Damian should have put Black over. And also, they gave Black and Zelina Vega carrying Cross and Scarlett's gimmick, and then it's still not it's still not translating well. It gets crickets every time. Also, one of my favorite wrestlers of all time, Alex Shelley. He's in a vortex with Johnny Gargano and Candice LeRae. And Candice LeRae, she's just, she hasn't wrestled, she hasn't had a singles match in forever. Uh, I don't know, man. They're not doing anything with the Motor City Machine Guns. Alexa Bliss, well, she's just used as, someone to get Charlotte over. It's kind of like what they're doing with EO. They teamed them together, and then once they separate, Charlotte's going to be doing big things while Alexa Bliss is just going to be in the undercard. It's kind of like how they're doing with EO. They put EO together with Rhea. Rhea goes on to the main event title picture scene, and Io's just kind of left off the face of the earth. Just like she doesn't have a title match, but last year she was the women's world champion. You know, Absolutely ridiculous. Angel Garza. On the main roster, if you are Hispanic, your booking is going to be pretty risky, anyways. It's unfortunate to say that they'll either have you job out or be in the LWO or just be on main event or just send you to AAA. It's honestly really sad to say because Angel Garza in 2019, he had so much aura, but then just things kind of fell apart. Angelo Dawkins, one half of the Street Profits. Haven't seen them on TV in forever. Apollo Crews, he's been April 4th marked the April 4th 2026 marked the 10-year anniversary that he's been on the main roster. Absolutely nothing. Asuka. I mean, Asuka's great, but this whole parasocial thing that she's got, not parasocial, this Stockholm syndrome storyline that she's got with with Kyrie Sane and EO trying to save her, really run its course. But then again, I'm pretty sure that they're gonna have some sort of thing at Mania. Hopefully, if I don't understand why they can't just put anyways, why they can't just have it as a triple threat match if Nikki Bella's still injured and just have EO versus Asuka because they've been feuding for 1,000 years. Now I'm still not understanding how this is the talent's fault. Triple H made it seem like it's the talent's fault. Like whenever he can't fulfill something, he blames the talent. Dude said that there's nobody on the roster at all who can replace a Roman or a Punk when it comes to drawing star power, but yet he books them into irrelevancy. We're gonna keep going here. B-Fab next. Bailey. He's got nothing for her. He has her with Lyra, and then Lyra has nothing. So they just put them together, have them have this little, tease one moment where they're gonna break up, and then the next moment they're friends, and then they're besties, and then just Humberto Carrillo. Humberto, his peak was in 2019. He's been ruined too. Let's see. Braun Breaker injured. Let's see. Brutus Creed, one half of the Creed brothers, aka Diamond Mine, absolutely ruined. They've been kept off TV for 1,000 years. The last time that they were on TV, they were playing in a toy boat on Raw. That was the last time they were seen on TV. I'm not sure how that's their fault, though. They're not the ones with the booking pin. Candice LeRae, she hasn't wrestled in over, I think the last time she wrestled was against Jordan Grace, and then she's never really been seen in a wrestling ring again, even though she was putting on classics and memorable matches in PWG 10 years ago, even on NXT Black and Gold. Carmelo Hayes, he's been done absolutely filthy. And if he's not at WrestleMania 42 at some sort of 2006 Rey Mysterio WrestleMania moment, you can cancel Christmas on that one. There's no doubt that Melo was done dirty. It's undeniable. And if you think that Melo wasn't done dirty, you're just simply brain dead. Chad Gable, Triple H ruined his momentum, had him have Sami Zayn have his WrestleMania moment, even though Gunther had a story with Chad Gable because Chad Gable's daughter was crying thanks to Gunther. But then, Sami Zayn beat Gunther for some reason for the Intercontinental Championship. And then he had his stupid Americano gimmick. Not sure how that's Chad's fault, though. Keep going here. Charlotte. Chris Sabin, one half of the Motor City Machine Guns. And then they're just not really wrestling with each other. The tag team division's damn near like a ghost town nowadays. I'm just not. I'm still trying to. I'm struggling to see how this is the talent's fault though. Let's see. Damian Priest. They had nothing for the dude, so they just placed him with R-Truth for no reason. Let's see. Dante Chen. Well, he's not on main roster. Let's keep going here. Drew McIntyre gets done dirty every time. Drew McIntyre. He's been booked to talk crap and never back it up. He loses every time he talks crap. And this has been going on for about a few years now. Dragon Lee, they got nothing for him. They have no story for Dragon Lee. The only thing they have him do is just matches with no story and spots that make the crowd go crazy, and then they forget about it the next week. Dominic Mysterio. They had him with Finn take the title off him, put it on Penta. And now, I mean, of course, there's a massive story between Finn and Dom, but to take the championship off of Dominic Mysterio, the Intercontinental Championship off of Dominic Mysterio before Mania is weird because since it was already on Dominic in the first place, why couldn't they just waited till Mania? And then Finn, the demon Finn Balor, take it off Dom because Penta has no story. He has no story and no enemies and no rivalry, but they put it in a ladder match for no reason. Let's see. This makes zero sense, dude. Eric, one half of the Viking Raiders, they got squashed single-handedly by Obafemi. They haven't been seen on Raw since. Julia. Not sure how this is Julia's fault either, because I'm pretty sure it's Triple H with the booking pin. But yeah, just have her heel, and then when it doesn't work, we keep doing it. We keep doing it. We push Stephanie Vaquer, and then we keep Julia heel. We'll even put the championship on her like that means something, but then not even have her defend it at a pay-per-view. The championship has been around since December 14th, 2024. Hasn't been defended since. It hasn't been defended on pay-per-view at all. We're in 2026. And then on top of that, we'll just have her with Kiana James, but then give up on Julia, even though it's our fault while she's not getting over. And then we'll push Kiana James in a bigger spot than our champion, even though that Kiana James is the manager and Julia's supposed to be the champion. It's kind of like supposed to be like a Brock type, Brock Lesnar, Paul Heyman type of situation going on. But, they just dropped the ball on Julia completely creatively. Not really sure why. Grayson Waller, I forgot he's with the company, to be honest. And Grayson Waller was one of my favorites, especially but dude, him and LA Knight carried NXT 2.0. Gunther, well, creative has failed Gunther, and I think they ruined his career. I think they ruined his legacy completely. Not only because they book him not only did they book him to be super average and not intimidating whatsoever, but the fact that they haven't had a plan for this man this whole WrestleMania season after Rey Mysterio got injured. This is supposed to be somebody who's supposed to be the career, quote unquote, career killer, and supposed to be someone who's supposed to take out these legends or whatnot, but he's having 50-50 matches with people who are 3 times smaller than him, like Dragon Lee, almost losing to people like Dragon Lee. How is that supposed to make him look dominant if he can't even book somebody the company doesn't see much value in the first place? That's stupid. It's just like Royce Keys being destroyed by Bertho on his debut, and then Royce Keys struggling to put away Bertho. How does that make someone look dominant? Anyways, yeah, he's ruined. Ilya Dragunov, for some reason, he's left off Mania for some reason. Came back, won the United States Championship, and then the championship's been just trading between faces for whatever reason. The matches don't really make something intriguing. It's more like the story. Let's see, Ivar. Yeah, they had him get squashed by Obafemi as well for some reason. Ivy Nile, someone who's never been given an opportunity or a chance to do much of anything, really. She's been kind of just been on the main roster, being underutilized and mistreated. Not much that I can say, but then again, it's these everyone on the roster of WWE is their fault why they can't replace someone like a CM Punk or Roman Reigns once they retire. It's not like people like Ivy Nile, they're only relegated to being appeared on main event, lose matches on main event, and then eat catering at Raw backstage until they're used 5 months at a time, and then they are off TV. Or if they want to put somebody like a Rhea or somebody else like that stature over the likes of Ivy, just call up Ivy, have her job, and then just take her off TV again. Ivy Nile is so talented. Io, they got nothing for Io apparently. Even though that, her and Asuka have had this rivalry going on with Kyrie for about 5 million years, to where they're, fighting over custody of Kyrie, saying like they're Dom, Eddie, and Rey Mysterio. Io, Not much that I can say about this. Really, it's really unfortunate because Io is she's one of the best. I think top three women's best wrestlers, best women's wrestlers right now. You know, and to see them just lose the plot with her is insane. Is her booking recently has been unforgivable, unforgettable, extremely bad, and unacceptable. I just don't understand how you can fumble the momentum of somebody like Io. Jacob Fatu, he can definitely be somebody who replaces the like of Roman Reigns if he to retire. He's got the star power, he's got the move set, he's got the conviction when he talks, he's got the aura, he's got the crowd response. There's nothing there's nothing that doesn't scream star about Jacob Fatu, the Samoan werewolf. Jade had said in an interview that she's unhappy about her not being able to wrestle as much as she'd like to. She says that she wants to wrestle, but creative is against it. JC Mateo absolutely ruined. Newt, his aura has been sucked out of any sort of possibility of him being over with the audience in any slight inkling of reality. Him as Jeff Cobb, would have been cool, or even JC Mateo if they would have done something with him. But he's an NPC, and you forget that he's there. It's unfortunate, man. Jeff Cobb was one of my favorite big dude wrestlers back in their 2010. So to see how the company has completely diminished him is incredible. It's honestly impressive how quickly they ruin people too. Jordan Devlin, the Irish Ace, as I know him as, aka JD McDonough. He's only on screen when they need people to beat. Like he's only on screen when he gets his ass beat. That's it. It's unfortunate. Javon Evans, they've only had him fighting the Starbucks menu: Frappuccino Latte, Americano, Americano Grande, El Grande, Ariana Grande, Rio Grande. They've only had him that, like, it's just circular, And then on top of that, Javon Evans can't really seem to win matches on his own cleanly, because he's not booked to be credible. Like it's always an interference, It's crazy. Also Dragon Lee helped him to get into the Elimination Chamber in a triple threat. It couldn't just be, him winning it on his own. Just like Offset helped him to win against Kofi Kingston. The dude just can't seem to be booked to win on his own cleanly. It's crazy. Jey Uso, they tried, but Jimmy Uso is the better Uso because he's more athletic. His moveset is more versatile. He doesn't get tired and gassed out after 2 minutes of wrestling. Jimmy Uso is the better Uso, and I think that the Yeet experiment wouldn't have failed if they wouldn't have placed it on the wrong twin. The crazy part about it is, if you go back to 2021, it was originally Jimmy Uso who was wearing the Yeet merch in 2021. Yeah, he had a Yeet hoodie on and everything. Joaquin Wilde, aka DJZ, he was never really given the shot either on the main roster. Joe Gacy, he's probably in one of the worstly fumbled factions in modern WWE history because they debuted and they took everyone out backstage. Chad Gable's bleeding from the head. Then they just have them lose their first rivalry, get them on SmackDown, take them off TV for about 1,000 weeks, put them against the MFTs for 1,000,000 years, stop that rivalry, and then we're going back to that same rivalry actually tomorrow as I'm recording this video on Friday Night SmackDown. Johnny Gargano, ruined on the main roster completely. Never really gotten that opportunity. And when he did, they turned him heel, had him be with Tommaso Ciampa, do nothing with the DIY group. Let's see. Julius Creed, who was one of my favorite catch style wrestlers on the main roster, never really gotten that opportunity. Unfortunately, have him be with American Made. Chad Gable gets injured, but then he's El Grande Americano, so it's not like it mattered in the first place. And then bring him back as a Americano, El Grande Americano, but still not put them on TV. The Creed brothers, American Made, however you want to do it, or just have Brutus and Julius together, have Ivy Nile in the women's singles competition. Not really. There's no excuse whatsoever why why the Creed brothers in general are not being used on TV. But then again, it's the stars' fault, and none of them can replace Roman or Punk when they leave. Kyrie Sane, I don't know. I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. She's usually involved. She was involved in like 2 or 3 injuries last year with Zoe. I think it was Zoe Stark and Liv Morgan. Let's see. Kit Wilson. He's over. Kiana James. They want to push. I love Kiana James, but the fact that they're having her as the manager and still being placed in a top position just shows how flippy floppy they are with the booking of these people. Let's see. LA Knight, yeah, he successfully. Triple H has tried for so long to purposely sabotage this man. And it goes against what he said, about there's no more star power after Roman and Punk leave. But then you have someone who has that star power, and you purposely every week try your best to diminish it. Goes against everything that the dude says. Kofi Kingston, Liv Morgan, she's good. Logan Paul, yeah. Ludwig Kaiser, yeah. Just please, I really hope that Undertaker just eradicates Chad Gable from that gimmick and just keep it on Ludwig or something. Let's see. Lyra Valkyria hasn't had that opportunity, even though she was the Intercontinental Women's Champion, the Women's Intercontinental Champion. Still, somehow, some way, they did not give her the ball like they should have. Lyra Valkyria hasn't had anything significant, as far as creatively that's been given to her. So they just pluck her with Bayley, put her with Bayley, have them have matches for whatever reason, face versus face. They even had an Intercontinental Championship match when it was Bayley versus Lyra, face versus face. Nobody cared because they cheer for them both, so they just sit on their hands or take pictures. I'm just failing to see how this is the Stars' fault, but yeah, they didn't give a shot to Lyra. Matt Cardona, he's been an absolute jobber since he's been back. They've tried this experiment with Maxine Dupree, even though that they didn't train her, so she can't wrestle. She doesn't know how to wrestle, but her gimmick is to be a catch style, freestyle wrestler, like a shoot style wrestler. And even though that, it wasn't working with the audience, after a while, like after the audience stopped coddling her, and started being realistic and say, hey, she's not good, but not because she sucks, because she's never been to NXT and she doesn't get trained that often, and they don't have many house shows for her to practice. So she just kind of learns on the fly. If she's not, heavily rehearsing her matches, each match, and that turned out to be true. She was each match that she was having, she was heavily rehearsing all of them, which was while she was being taken off TV for weeks at a time. But despite her not being able to wrestle or be gifted at this sport whatsoever, they gave her a championship. The women's Intercontinental Championship, and then they realized that failed, so they took it off of her and then put Bayley, put Becky and AJ back together. Michin, Montez Ford, taken off TV for whatever reason, but then again, like Triple H said, it's not his fault why the roster's failing. It's just these people don't have star power, even though that they don't get that opportunity. Nathan Frazier, I forget he's on the roster. It's unfortunate because, Fraxium is just very, very talented, but very irrelevant at the same time. Natty, Triple H somehow managed to creatively suck all the aura out of this gimmick when it was a very badass gimmick on GCW Bloodsport. Brought it over to the main roster, had her fight Maxine in some of the most boring, unsatisfying, unfascinating ways as possible, and then just kept this gimmick off TV for whatever reason. Nikki Cross. Oh, Triple H ruined her. I remember back when she was the crazy Nikki and everything, and people were like, and Nikki was like, something like Nikki wants to play or something like that. But just not have her wrestle for about 3 years, and then just, bro. I swear, the last time I saw Nikki Cross wrestle, um, was I think is Nikki Ash or something like that. I don't know. It's been a long time since I've seen her wrestle. It's been a very long time, very long time. Um, sometimes you even forget Nikki Cross is in the Wyatt Six because she's just an NPC. She's just a side character. And it's unfortunate because Nikki Cross was one of my favorite Scottish women wrestlers of all time. But just keep her away from the ring and don't have her have any stories. Just have her be a part of a faction with no fascination whatsoever. Oh, geez, man. This is sad this is sad. Like to see, like to actually look at this roster page and see all of these talents that are just gone to waste. People like Otis, man. Otis has so much potential. He was so over, and then him and Chad had their rivalry, and then just kind of went to hell once Triple H fumbled that momentum, and then had them fight 6 months after the rivalry was over, so no one cared. Pat McAfee, Penta, no story, no rivalry, no nothing. Honestly, I can't think of anything prominent or anything significant that they've done for Penta as far as storyline wise since he's been in the company since last year. He fought the New Day a million times. Americano, Frappuccino latte. Nothing much. I can't like him fighting the New Day for a million years. I can't that's the only thing I can really think of as far as Penta. Pete Dunne ruined, turned him into Bravo or Rayo or something stupid like that instead of the bruiserweight. Piper Niven, he ruined her too. He could have just had Piper Niven as Piper Niven and not just a stupid some sort of stupid gimmick secret Harvest member. They could have really utilized her as Piper Niven. I really hope she gets better. I hope her injury isn't career ending because she never got her opportunity to really showcase herself. R-Truth, once again, they had him as Ron Killings. They had him as the serious Ron Killings. They put him back as the comedy character. And now that John Cena's gone, they have him as the new John Cena, but black and bald. Randy Orton, they had him with Jelly Roll last year. They had him feud with... They've had nothing for him since he returned last year. The real mommy. I don't get why they can't just build to Stephanie Valkyrie versus Liv Morgan while also on the side building the tension towards her being eliminated by Liv Morgan. It's like they go out of their way to not have that extra layer of story. It's really they're sabotaging her here. Ray Phoenix, they turned one of the best luchadors in the world to a side quest jobber, a catering crusader luchador. It's unfortunate, but yeah, he's definitely been ruined by the WWE machine. Rey Mysterio, they haven't been booking him well at all. Besides his injuries, he wasn't even getting booked well before his injury at all. Roxanne Perez, she's been an absolute jobber as well last year. She's been booked terribly, and she's so talented. The thing about Roxanne is she was a huge star in NXT. She came over to the main roster and had the most losses in 2025 out of any superstar in the company. Rusev, absolute jobber. He's been booked like a jobber, but the thing is, they could have actually built something off of him because Sheamus put him over at Clash in Paris. I thought he was finally going to get the booking that he deserves, but nope. Once again, like Triple H said, it's not his fault why the people are jobbers. It's because they don't have star power. But then a couple years ago, he said that, yeah, I'm not going to give people that star power. It's by design. I don't want anyone to be bigger than the company. The dude literally lost to Dominic Mysterio a million times. Lanky ass Dominic Mysterio. Crazy. Sammy Hogan. Sammy Hogan, I feel like he's been done dirty too because he's been an underdog for about 29 years. and he's won almost every championship in the company and his main events at WrestleMania. We're almost through this lit, man. It's crazy to see this amazing roster and them never really being utilized like that. Shinsuke Nakamura, Vince ruined Shinsuke, but Triple H somehow made it worse. Dude had like this samurai Great Muta gimmick, kept low blowing LA Knight like he did with AJ Styles, and then just kind of had he had a United States Championship run, but then he had it for like 3 months and only defended it twice or whatever, 70 days and only defended it 3 times. It was something crazy like that. And then, had him walk down in a samurai getup, but yet, I don't know, man. Solo Sikoa, see, they say, once again, Triple H said himself that, there's no star power in these modern wrestlers, and there's not going to be a draw. But the thing is, John Cena willingly got squashed at the Crown Jewel by Solo Sikoa. He got squashed. And then what did Triple H do? How did he capitalize on John Cena being squashed by Solo Sikoa? Put him on a 40 match plus losing streak. And also, I don't even think Solo Sikoa's had his WrestleMania moment. But nah, it's the talent's fault though. It's the talent's fault though. It's the talent's fault though. Yeah. Just keep that in mind. It's all on the talent and not on the booking. Let's see. Tyler Bate, one of I think still the youngest NXT UK champion of all time. Came to the main roster, had the no catch Republic, one Republic, Democratic Republic. I don't know, man. They really fumbled Tyler Bate. Zelina Vega had one of her best matches in her career was with Rhea Ripley at 2023's Backlash. Have her in that match, take her off TV, have her be a jobber, have her lose a bunch in 2024, and then put her in an LWO, strip away her aura. Put the championship on her, put the Women's United States Championship on her. She asked to defend it at AAA. You stop her from defending it on AAA. You stop giving her stories. You stop doing all these things. You prevent her from building her character. You put her with Aleister Black, and nobody cares. It really sounds like people are being sabotaged. But yet, like he said, it's the star's fault. There's no star power in the company anymore. There's no star power. There's no one to replace Roman Reigns or CM Punk once they retire. But yeah, I mean, it's almost like, call me crazy here, but it's almost like, the stars don't book themselves. The bookers book the stars. It's almost like, if they're creatively bankrupt or if they're being creatively destroyed, it's almost like that's creative's job. The Street Profits haven't been seen in 1,000 years. The last time we saw the Street Profits, Montez Ford said, "I got my weight up. I'm fat." I don't know, bro. That's just that's just something I just wanted to pick apart. Because yeah, this is insane. Like, this is absolutely crazy. Dude spent 2 years in creative control, has buried almost everyone, or if he hasn't buried them, made them extremely irrelevant, has made them insignificant, and then blame them for why they're not over. It's crazy. Like all of these people here in WWE on the roster. And you mean to tell me that you can't have at least one person You can't have at least one person to carry on that star power or be another draw. You can't make anyone else a big name. Triple H can't book. He can't build stars. He said it himself that he tears them down on purpose because he doesn't want anyone to be bigger than the company. Dude punished LA Knight and Karrion Kross for being over. It's ridiculous. It's counterproductive. How you gonna want people to get over and then don't want them to be over? You want people to get over but don't want them to be over. And then you go on an interview with Joe Tessitore to say, yeah, well, I don't want anyone to be over, but it's their fault why they're not over, and we don't have anyone else to replace them once they're gone. We don't have anyone to replace the tribal chief or anyone when they're gone. That's crazy. That's nonsense, bro. That pisses me off, bro. Because so many talents in their roster's their roster's great, man. Oh, dude. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. Tyler Bate, one of the, I think still the youngest NXT UK champion of all time. Came to the main roster, had the no catch Republic, one Republic, Democratic Republic. I don't know, man. They really fumbled Tyler Bate. Zelina Vega had one of her best matches in her career was with Rhea Ripley at 2023's Backlash. You know, have her in that match, take her off TV, have her be a jobber, have her lose a bunch in 2024, and then, you know, put her in an LWO, strip away her aura, put the championship on her, put the Women's United States Championship on her. She asks to defend it at AAA. You stop her from defending it on AAA. You stop giving her stories. You stop doing all these things. You prevent her from building her character. You put her with Aleister Black, and nobody cares. It really sounds like people are being sabotaged. But yet, like he said, it's the Star's fault. There's no star power in the company anymore. There's no star power. There's no one to replace Roman Reigns or CM Punk once they retire. But yeah, I mean, it's almost like, call me crazy here, but it's almost like, you know, the stars don't book themselves. The bookers book the stars. It's almost like if they're creatively bankrupt or if they're being creatively destroyed, it's almost like that's creative's job. The Street Profits haven't been seen in 1,000 years. The last time we saw the Street Profits, Montez Ford said, "I got my weight up. I'm fat." I don't know, bro. That's just that's just something I just wanted to pick apart. Because yeah, this is insane. Like, this is absolutely crazy. Dude spent 2 years in creative control, has buried almost everyone, or if he hasn't buried them, made them extremely irrelevant, has made them insignificant, and then blame them for why they're not over. It's crazy. Like all of these people here on in WWE on the roster. And you mean to tell me that you can't have at least one person? You can't have at least one person to carry on that star power or be another draw. You can't make anyone else a big name. Triple H can't book. He can't build stars. He said it himself that he tears them down on purpose because he doesn't want anyone to be bigger than the company. Dude punished LA Knight and Karrion Kross for being over. It's ridiculous. It's counterproductive. How you gonna want people to get over and then don't want them to be over? You want people to get over but don't want them to be over. And then you go on an interview with Joe Tessitore to say, yeah, well, I don't want anyone to be over, but it's their fault why they're not over, and we don't have anyone else to replace them once they're gone. We don't have anyone to replace the tribal chief or anyone when they're gone. That's crazy. That's nonsense, bro. That pisses me off, bro. Because so many talents in their roster's the roster's great, man. Oh, dude. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. Zelina Vega had one of her best matches in her career was with Rhea Ripley at 2023's Backlash. Have her in that match, take her off TV, have her be a jobber, have her lose a bunch in 2024, and then put her in an LWO, strip away her aura, put the championship on her, put the Women's United States Championship on her. She asks to defend it at AAA. You stop her from defending it on AAA. You stop giving her stories. You stop doing all these things. You prevent her from building her character. You put her with Aleister Black, and nobody cares. It really sounds like people are being sabotaged. But yet, like he said, it's the Stars' fault. There's no star power in the company anymore. There's no star power. There's no one to replace Roman Reigns or CM Punk once they retire. But yeah, I mean, it's almost like, call me crazy here, but it's almost like, the stars don't book themselves. The bookers book the stars. It's almost like if they're creatively bankrupt or if they're being creatively destroyed, it's almost like that's creative's job. The Street Profits haven't been seen in 1,000 years. The last time we saw the Street Profits, Montez Ford said, like, this is absolutely crazy. Dude spent 2 years in creative control, has buried almost everyone, or if he hasn't buried them, made them extremely irrelevant, has made them insignificant, and then blame them for why they're not over. It's crazy. Like all of these people here. All of these people here in WWE on the roster, and you mean to tell me that you can't have at least one person? You can't have at least one person to carry on that star power or be another job. You can't make anyone else a big name. Triple H can't book. He can't build stars. He said it himself that he tears them down on purpose because he doesn't want anyone to be bigger than the company. Dude punished LA Knight and Karrion Kross for being over. It's ridiculous. It's counterproductive. How you gonna want people to get over and then don't want them to be over? You want people to get over, but don't want them to be over. And then you go on an interview with Joe Tessitore to say, yeah, well, I don't want anyone to be over, but it's their fault why they're not over. And we don't have anyone else to replace them once they're gone. We don't have anyone to replace the tribal chief or anyone when they're gone. That's crazy. That's nonsense, bro. That pisses me off, bro. Because so many talents in their roster's their roster's great, man. Oh, dude. Let me know what you think down in the comments below.